A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
Content you love. That's more curated news.
If one party is saying we will never raise taxes even on millionaires and billionaires.
More top sports.
And he's gonna go! There's the tying goal!
And everything in between.
This game is over!
Upgrade now for the premium listening experience.
This is CNN.
With Gaza ceasefire talks faltering in Doha, there's been no let-up to the Israeli airstrikes. We need to warn you, viewers may find this next video disturbing. It shows a chaotic scene in the central part of the enclave after an Israeli airstrike hit a water distribution point. Gaza officials say 6 children were among the 10 Palestinians killed at that site on Sunday. The Israeli military has acknowledged the strike missed its intended target, which they say was an Islamic Jihad terrorist, and that it fell dozens of meters away. The IDF says it is reviewing the incident. CNN's Nada Bashir has more now from London, but first another warning that viewers may find some of the images in her report disturbing.
Well, despite days of proximity talks in Doha around a proposed 60-day ceasefire and hostage release deal, negotiations appear to have stalled yet again, with both sides accusing each other of putting up new obstacles. On Saturday, an Egyptian source with direct knowledge of those indirect talks told CNN that negotiations were deadlocked as a result of additional demands put forward by Israel, with a senior Hamas official telling CNN that talks had faltered as a result of new conditions introduced by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, including new redeployment maps for the Israeli military in Gaza. Those reports come after an Israeli source also told CNN last week that the key outstanding issue on the table was, at that point, the terms around where the Israeli military would redeploy in Gaza once the ceasefire takes effect. But on Sunday, Netanyahu claimed Israel had accepted the latest proposal put forward by the US and instead accused Hamas of rejecting the deal on the table. The Israeli Prime Minister is facing growing pressure at home in Israel for a deal to be struck to secure the release of the remaining hostages held captive in Gaza. And on the ground in Gaza, the humanitarian toll continues to rise, with growing international calls for an immediate end to the war, as Israel's attacks on civilian areas continue. On Sunday, several children were killed in an Israeli airstrike at a water distribution point in central Gaza, according to health officials in the Strip. Distressing video from the scene showed multiple casualties amid buckets and makeshift water carriers. The Israeli military later acknowledged the airstrike, claiming it had targeted an Islamic Jihad terrorist, but that the munitions had landed dozens of meters from the target. This attack came shortly after Gaza health officials reported that 139 bodies were brought to Gaza's hospitals in the space of just 24 hours, with many more victims feared to be buried under the rubble of destroyed buildings. All this as families in Gaza continue to face crippling shortages of humanitarian aid and medical supplies. Nada Bashir, CNN, London.
Meanwhile, in the West Bank, a large crowd of Palestinians attended a funeral procession on Sunday for 2 men killed in clashes in recent days. One of those killed was a 20-year-old Palestinian-American man beaten to death by Israeli settlers, according to local health officials and an eyewitness. Settler violence against Palestinians has ramped up in the West Bank, and Israel has increased military